Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nellie and I pretty much talk all about romanticizing life in general. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have a 3 and 6-year-old, so I'm in this kind of weird limbo where one of them's starting to go to school, the other one's still home with me, and just trying to find myself again and the things that I like to do, the things that make me happy. Speaking of things that make me happy, I have paint all over my hands and I just can't be bothered. So we're gonna just go right past that. I'm really excited for today's video. It's a little bit quicker and we're gonna be talking about habits to instill in your morning routine to just have a better day. I'm not perfect in my morning routine. It's something that I'm really striving to be better at. And when I do these 6 things, I just have a better, smoother day. And when I have a better, smoother day, I feel like it's just easier to mom. And it's easier to get through things that would normally be harder to get through. These are gonna be pretty simple tips, but they're just foolproof for me personally, and I would love to hear from you as you watch this video, any that you feel like I'm missing or really help you. Number 1 is the first thing I do when I wake up, which is wake up the house. Basically what I mean by that is opening all the windows or the blinds and turning on some lights, candles, whatever it is, just setting the ambiance for the day. We live in a home that is honestly not very bright generally inside until the latter half of the day because the sun tends to set in our backyard, which means most of the light that's coming in through the living room, the dining room area, which is where most of our windows are concentrated, is coming in the latter half of the day. And for me, I'm someone who likes to wake up to the sun, so it really stinks because it's not very bright in here. So the first thing that I do is just letting in all of the light, and I feel like that is so helpful to just feel more awake, especially when your kids are coming downstairs. And with my daughter, she goes to school so early that the light is just basically just barely starting to creep in, so I just feel like it just starts our day off really well. Anyways, that is something super small that I feel like just really makes a difference, especially if you're not a morning person. I feel like the more light that you let in, the more awake you're gonna feel, and it just speeds up that process from feeling super groggy to feeling awake. Especially if you're not a coffee drinker, I feel like this is my version of caffeine, is just, UV coming straight into my retinas. The second thing that I have recently moved from my evening routine to my morning routine is daily movement. We all know how important this is, but I have been somebody who has always my entire life just kind of made it part of my identity of I don't like to work out, I don't want to work out, I'm not a gym person, yada. And while some of that I still generally think, as I've become a mom, and specifically as I've just gone through like the birth and the recovery experience, I've always thought to myself that I wish that I would have worked out to make those things easier. But also as a mom now, it's something that I want my kids to see me doing. On top of that, it's just so good for your mental health. And when you do it first thing in the morning, I think it's just like signifying to yourself, this is something I'm making a priority, this is why I'm doing it first, and you just kind of get it out of the way. So that is another thing that has been helping me in a lot of ways, that I'm still in the thick of incorporating this into my routine, but it is just such a mood booster, and I just feel so accomplished when I'm done with it, especially knowing that before my kids are even up, I've just gotten it done and I've been productive that morning. The third thing that I've recently been doing in the morning that has made such a difference, especially just in my kids' moods in the morning, is I've been starting the morning with a playlist. There's an account on YouTube that I just love, which is called Ophelia Wild. I don't know if that's the name of the person or like a pseudonym, but whoever she is, she just makes the best quiet playlist. She has like a playlist for a quiet morning, a playlist for studying, whatever it is. There's so many different ones, and I just love putting them on my TV in the mornings because I feel like the kids can really feed off of that calm, quiet energy. And I just feel like when I do use that in the morning, it encourages them to play quieter and to play more independently. So that has been something I've absolutely been loving, and something I definitely recommend incorporating into your morning routine if you have small kids that are at home. The fourth thing that I try to incorporate every single day is making time for myself to get ready. Whether that's getting dressed for the day or doing my hair or doing makeup. Sometimes it's all 3 of those. Sometimes it's 1 out of 3 of those. Doing one of those things to get myself ready in the morning just makes me feel more confident to take on the day. And It's also nice because if we want to do any spontaneous outings together, then I'm already ready to go and I can just go straight out the door to go meet a friend rather than having to take an hour to get everybody ready. If I don't have time to do it before the kids, then I just bring my makeup and my clothes downstairs and I get ready in the living room while they're playing by themselves. That's obviously not my first choice, but it's really helpful and I like doing it that way because then I'm still putting myself as a priority no matter how the morning has gone, no matter if I have time to do X, Y, Z or not. The next thing that I think is super important is doing some type of gratitude practice in the morning, whether that's prayer, whether that's a journal, whatever that is. I feel like that is so helpful. I recently have put up a poster on one of our walls in the living room, and it's something I'm trying to do every single day where I write something on it that I am grateful for. And I think it's really cool to have my kids like seeing me do it and just being able to talk to them about what I'm grateful for that day. I think that the more you realize the good things in your life, the more that you see them. So especially if you're going through a tough time, I think this would be just a really good thing to implement in whatever way works best for you. The last habit that I've been trying to incorporate throughout my morning routine, and this kind of happens several times throughout the morning, is just having smaller resets happening throughout the morning. So obviously, especially on a day like today when I have both of my kids home from school because it was a snow day, the house can get really, really messy and it starts to feel very, very overwhelming. So as my kids are moving from activity to activity, I'm encouraging them to clean up after themselves. But if it doesn't happen and they've moved into another room, I just take a few minutes and I just clean whatever area of that house that they were just in. And I feel like it's so helpful so that I don't have to spend all of nap time cleaning. This isn't something that I'm perfect at, but when I do it, it is so, so helpful. I've also started living by the phrase, if it takes less than a minute, then do it now. If it takes me less than a few minutes to just clean up the living room where my kids left their magnet tiles, I'm just gonna do it now instead of waiting till later when I have 5 rooms to clean instead of just 1 room to clean. Another tip for doing just little resets, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put on a favorite song. A lot of times I'll put on All Too Well, the 10-minute version by Taylor Swift, and that just gives me 10 minutes that while I am listening to the song, I am cleaning, and then when I'm done with that song, I'm done cleaning. And I feel like that's just like a super helpful thing for me. Or I'll put on a YouTube video and I'll clean during that YouTube video. But I just realized for myself, I'd rather do just little resets throughout the day, specifically in the morning, so that I'm not super overwhelmed at night and having to do it when I'm exhausted after a day of parenting. Anyways, those are the 6 habits that I've been implementing into my morning routine that have been really, really helping me in this phase of life. And like I said, if you have any others that have been just life-changing for you in the season that you're in, please comment them below. I would love to learn from you guys. Just a little side note, after sharing those habits, just remember to have grace for yourself. We're all in different seasons. We're all capable of different things. Just giving yourself grace and just knowing that not all of these are going to be feasible at a certain stage of life. For example, if you have a newborn, then your capability is probably going to be a little bit different than me, who has a 3 and a 6-year-old. And my capability is going to be a little bit different to somebody with teenagers in their home. Just a little note to have grace with yourself. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.